Throne Hall. The camera pans across the vast hall, stopping on the king seated on his ornate throne. Flickering torches cast dancing shadows on the walls as King Ryan runs a hand through his long, graying beard, his eyes blazing with fury. King Ryan, someone dared to try and kill me in my own castle. Treachery lives among us. He slams his sword onto the stone floor, making the knights and commanders seated behind him flinch. Commander Darius, my king, the evidence points toward one of your council members. Ryan leans forward, his eyes burning with intensity. King Ryan, the council is full of wolves hiding in sheepskin. I will rip out their fangs, one by one. As the king speaks, menacing music rises, drums beating slowly, echoing the determination in the king's voice. The knights behind him grip their weapons tightly, ready for action. Outside, on the ramparts, a lone flag whips in the wind, its banner bearing the golden lion rampant of House Ryan. Scene 2. Northern Camp. The scene shifts to a camp blanketed in fresh snow. Soldiers huddle around crackling campfires, their faces grim, their breath misting in the freezing air. Tents are pitched in tight clusters, offering a meager defense against the biting winter winds. General Laurent, a tall, imposing figure with a thick red beard and a determined set to his jaw, addresses his troops. His breastplate is adorned with the emblem of a snarling wolf, a stark contrast against the pristine white snow. He raises his sword high, its polished surface glinting in the firelight. Laurent, winter will show no mercy, but neither will we. If the capital falls, darkness will swallow the world. The soldiers respond with a fierce chant, their voices echoing across the frozen landscape. Soldiers, Laurent, Laurent, Laurent! A hush falls over the camp as a scout rushes towards them, his horse snorting plumes of cold air. Scout, my lord, enemy riders spotted on the ridge. Laurent nods, his gaze fixed on the distant riders. Laurent, good, let them come. Tonight, the snow will drink their blood. The soldiers raise their weapons, their faces illuminated by the dancing flames, ready to meet their enemies on the frozen field. Scene 3. Princess's Chambers. Inside the palace, a sense of luxury and calm prevails. The camera moves through an open doorway, revealing a lavishly decorated chamber. Soft candlelight flickers, casting long shadows on the walls adorned with intricate tapestries. Princess Celine stands by the window, her back to the room, gazing out at the falling snow. Her silhouette is outlined against the soft glow of the city lights in the distance. She turns, revealing a composed yet determined face framed by long, flowing hair. She speaks in hushed tones to her loyal guard, a man whose face is etched with worry. Celine, send my letters to the east. If my father wants to play his game of blood, I'll turn it into an ocean that drowns him. The guard opens his mouth to protest, but the princess cuts him off with a wave of her hand. Her voice remains low, but there's a steeliness in her tone that brooks no argument. Celine, this is not betrayal. This is survival. The guard bows his head, accepting his orders. He leaves the room quickly, his footsteps echoing in the vast chamber. Princess Celine watches him go, a faint smile playing on her lips. As the door closes behind the guard, the smile vanishes, replaced by a steely resolve. The fire in her eyes reflects the determination burning within her. Her face, half bathed in the warm candlelight, half shrouded in shadow, becomes a mask of cold fury. Scene 4. Secret Hallway. The scene abruptly changes to a dark, narrow corridor hidden beneath the castle. A single torch flickers on the far wall, casting elongated shadows that dance ominously on the rough-hewn stones. The heavy wooden door at the end of the corridor is ornately carved, depicting scenes of battles and conquests. A cloaked figure stands before the door, their face obscured by the hood. They reach out a gloved hand and slowly close the door, plunging the hallway into near darkness. Only the faintest glimmer of candlelight can be seen from beneath the crack in the door. A whisper, raspy and filled with malice, echoes in the confined space. Mysterious voice, the game has just begun. As the figure turns away from the door, Their shoulders shake slightly, suggesting a suppressed, perhaps maniacal laughter. The screen fades to black, the last vestiges of light extinguished. The only sound is the echo of the mysterious voice, leaving the audience suspended in a silence more terrifying than any scream. Music swells, building in intensity. Dramatic horns blare, drums pound like thunder, and the clash of steel echoes, all underscored by a low, ominous hum that suggests a gathering darkness. The camera pans slowly upward, revealing a vast night sky studded with bright stars. In the distance, a pale moon hangs in the inky blackness, its light casting long, eerie shadows across the land below. As the music reaches a crescendo, the camera continues to rise, breaking through the clouds and hurtling towards the heavens. Through the star-studded expanse, the faint glow of distant galaxies is visible. They light a tiny beacon in the infinite darkness of space. The final note rings out, leaving behind a profound silence that presses down like a physical force. A lone rider emerges from the swirling snow, his horse battling against the wind as he sprints across the barren landscape. His face is grim, his eyes fixed on the distant castle looming against the darkening sky. The camera zooms in on the rider's face, his features haggard with fatigue, his jaws set with determination. Despite the biting wind and the stinging snow, he rides on, a solitary figure silhouetted against the dying light. As the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows across the land, a group of horsemen emerge from the trees lining the road. Their faces are hidden behind their helmets, their forms obscured by the dust kicked up by their charging horses. They ride with a sense of purpose, their movements in sync, their eyes fixed on the path ahead. The camera focuses on the lead rider, whose posture is that of a seasoned warrior, his every gesture exuding confidence and control. As they approach the lone rider, tension builds, the silence broken only by the pounding of hooves on the frozen ground. Upon seeing the approaching horseman, the lone rider prepares for a confrontation. He draws his sword, its polished surface flashing in the fading light. The horsemen come to a halt a few feet away, their horses snorting, their presence filling the frame. The lead rider dismounts, his movements fluid and graceful despite his armor. He steps forward, his face still hidden, and addresses the lone rider in a voice that is deep and resonant. "Riders, state your business here." The lone rider, undaunted, responds with a confident voice that carries across the quiet landscape. "Lone rider, I bring greetings and a message from House Ryan." As he utters these words, the camera pans to the side, revealing a crest emblazoned on the leather straps holding a shield. It is the golden lion rampant of House Ryan. The lead rider's eyes narrow, his gaze fixed on the crest. Recognition dawns on his face, and he steps aside, gesturing for the lone rider to pass. "Lead rider, welcome to our camp, bearer of messages. You ride alone, showing great courage or great folly." "Lone rider, perhaps both, Sir Knight, but my message is one you cannot afford to ignore." The lead rider's expression hardens, his eyes flashing with determination. "Lead rider, very well. Speak your message and be done with it." The lone rider takes a deep breath, his voice echoing across the silent camp. "Lone rider, the king demands your surrender. Come with me now and lay down your arms. Resist, and you shall face the wrath of House Ryan." As he delivers this ultimatum, the camera zooms in on the faces of the other horsemen, their expressions a mixture of anger and defiance. The lead rider remains stoic, his jaw set, his eyes locked onto the lone rider. The wind whips across the camp, carrying the lone rider's words to every corner. The silence that follows is heavy with anticipation, the fate of the northern camp hanging in the balance. And that ends part 6. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates.